So we are going to be talking about YouTube, kicking off our YouTube series. So this is by agent request. The agents that come to the Tuesday evening classes like this overwhelmingly wanted more information on YouTube. So every Tuesday evening class through April is going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be in a step-by-step series to where we get your YouTube channel built and you have your first video posted by the end of the month, if not more. All depends on how anxious and gung-ho and what hams you are in front of the camera, right? All right, so why YouTube is your best new hire for 2026. The foundation. This isn't about becoming an influencer. How many of you are excited about that? Right? It's not about becoming an influencer. It's about building a searchable, scalable, always-on presence that works while you sleep, show houses, and close deals. The platform advantage. So this is why I'm such a huge fan of YouTube versus any of the other social media. I polled everybody else, and nobody else from the Fort Myers office is really on YouTube. Chantel, are you on YouTube at all?
No.
Okay, cool. So this is going to be good for everybody. And then I think Vilma's kind of in that realm of being fairly new to it as well. However, we are all most likely consumers, right? One of the things that I love about YouTube is that statistically, it has the largest audience across all age groups, and there's no other social media that can say that. Because, TikTok has a, believe it or not, massively growing over 50 crowd. But as far as like all age groups, it's not all there. Whereas YouTube, all age groups use it because there's YouTube Kids and stuff too. And again, like TikTok, YouTube's over 50 niche is blowing up right now. So that speaks to me as somebody who's over 50. All right, so search first, browse. Why YouTube wins the long game. Instagram and Facebook, and this would be TikTok and everything else too, right? Interruption marketing. You're forcing your content into someone's feed, whether they want it or not. Stories vanish in 24 hours. So if you guys aren't familiar with Instagram as you're playing with it, stories disappear. It's like Snapchat. If anybody has experience with Snapchat, things get posted and they go away. Reels do stick around, but you're competing with 500 million other users. And those platforms are not search engine optimized on Google. They are within their own platform, but not like if I do a Google search. Any questions on that as far as the social medias and versus YouTube?
Between the social medias themselves, Instagram to Facebook, which one do you like more or less?
Are you doing any of them?
I have both of them, but I've been off social media for 6 months. So now I'm getting back on, and I just hate social media. But
So
if you're telling me like Instagram's not worth your time, then I would be glad to hear that, or vice versa.
well, I'm going to tell you that if you're not really doing anything, go YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. And you'll see as we go through it. One, it's a great place to start building your brand. Because really, when you think about YouTube, you're thinking about your own TV channel. Because people watch YouTube like it's TV, right? Don't confuse it with YouTube TV. That is something different. But I watch YouTube like it's TV. I'll go search for something and I'll, spend the next hour to 9 going through all the videos about that topic, right? So imagine somebody searches for Fort Myers real estate and Jennifer Davis's video pops up, and then they go into her video, which takes them to her channel and more suggested videos from her channel. And now they're consuming your content and getting everything they need to know about Fort Myers real estate from you as if it was your own TV channel billboard, and they're just consumed in it. That's the advantage of YouTube. So I'll throw this out there. I don't know if everybody knows this, but I know I asked this I think I asked this in the class last week. So it'll be a refresher for my Fort Myers people. What's the number one search engine in the world? You can come off mute or throw it in the chat, either one.
YouTube.
Google.
Google. Yep. So you're not wrong by much, Jennifer. You're really, really, really warm. What's the number two search engine in the world? Now, Jennifer.
YouTube.
YouTube. And who owns YouTube? Yep, I saw it, Mike.
Yep.
Google. Yep. And how much does Google love itself? Immensely.
Yeah.
More than anything else in the world, right? So anything that you can put on YouTube is going to get immense Google juice from Google. That's why it is so key to be on YouTube, in my opinion, to be on YouTube more than any other social media. Like TikTok is very search engine optimized within its own platform, okay? But remember, in TikTok, we don't have all age groups in TikTok. I'm also not going to TikTok if I want to learn about real estate in Fort Myers. It doesn't even dawn on me. If I want to learn how to do some stupid new dance, I'm going to go to TikTok, right? But I'm not thinking about going to TikTok for the best restaurants in Fort Myers, right? Is the best restaurants in Fort Myers still real estate? Yeah, it is. Because your reviews and your video about the best restaurants in Fort Myers or whatever city, Naperville, wherever, right? Glen Ellen, those videos make you the neighborhood expert for that town. And then I'm going to find your real estate videos too while I'm seeing your videos about the best restaurants, best parks, things like that. Okay. And when I search for that on Google, I'm probably going to find your videos as long as the description. This is going to come later in the series, but we're going to talk about having search engine optimized rich, SEO rich, we call it SEO rich, titles, descriptions, an engaging thumbnail, all of this stuff so that people can find your videos in Google searches, and also they're keen to click on them based on your thumbnail and your title. All right. So Instagram and Facebook, feed-based passive discovery. So that's the passive thing, right? It's just being kind of forced in front of them, whether they like it or not. 24-hour shelf life for stories. That's not good for us. We don't want to put that kind of, because here's the reality. Most of you, myself included, can't stand trying to keep up with all these social media things and okay, so some of us have talked about this before. How many times are you supposed to post on Instagram? A day? Who knows? I think
Like
Patty
two,
does.
3 times a day.
What was that, Vilma?
I think it's like 2-3 times a day.
Okay, Patty.
According to Gary Vee, hundreds.
I saw that today. You should be posting, what, 100 to 500 like video clips a day?
When do you sell houses?
I don't think any of us have time for that. I'm going to go back to my stat from before Gary Vee today. 5 times a day you're supposed to post on Instagram between reels and shorts and stories and all that stuff. And who's got time for that? Plus, you put that kind of work into it. Mario's like, I'm out. I'm good. Plus, you put all that work into it, and it's not really doing anything for you unless you already have a massive following. And you're not really going to get a massive following by being an average agent, a great agent, even the best agents. They have full-time teams that are helping them with that social media. The only person I can think of that has a massive following on Instagram that's a real estate agent and is getting business from that Instagram channel is, I don't know if any of you have heard of Tampa Bree. You can go look her up. It's Tampa. I think it's _BRI. I'll look it up and let you know. And then don't get
Is
mad.
she the vulgar one?
Yes, so that's what I was about to say, Patty. So don't get mad at me when you go see her videos. A lot of them are funny, but they can put people off too. But she built that following because she has a personality that is very much like a stand-up comic, and her video tours are all very much like a stand-up comic. Most of us aren't going to be doing that, right? So you're not really going to end up in other people's feeds. You're not going to find, for the same thing, like I said about TikTok, I'm not going to Instagram and searching for the best places to live in Fort Myers, right? Have you guys ever done that? Where do you go?
YouTube.
Okay,
Google.
if it's not YouTube though, where do you go?
Google. You Google it.
Yeah. And
Google
see,
Maps
that's the
for
thing.
reviews.
What's that?
Google Maps for reviews.
Yeah. But see that, so you bring up a great point, Vilma. That's awesome. That's why we want to live in that ecosystem of Google. If YouTube is our main source, our main repository of our videos, and our main social media channel, we're getting the power of Google across all platforms. Google AI with Gemini, Google from Google searches, Google Maps, which is where your business location shows up, like Vilma just mentioned. That's where you want to be. And especially like Jennifer said, where should I be? I don't want to waste time in something, da, da, da. I think it should be YouTube, because people are putting in search criteria in Google. They're not doing it in TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. That makes sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
And just think about your own behaviors, right? When you search for something, like even if it's an Airbnb. So, I mean, here's even a video topic that you could come up with is in Fort Myers, you could have a video that is about Airbnbs in Fort Myers that draws that crowd in to you, right? And maybe you even showcase a property that would be a great Airbnb. And now you're drawing in these people that are searching for a very hot topic and getting them engaged in your YouTube channel and in your ecosystem, where they learn about you as the realtor of choice in that area, right? And the local expert. All right. So YouTube, internet-based search, like we're talking about, right? That's exactly what we're talking about. Someone types best neighborhoods in whatever city and your video shows up. They're already looking. You are the answer. And that video keeps working for months, even years. So if I created a video today that said 5 reasons to move to Naperville, Illinois in 2026, you think that that's still relevant in 2028? But most of the reasons, probably, depending on how obscure you get with the reasons, right? But most of those reasons are probably, if not all, going to be valid in years to come, just as they were in 2026. So it's search-driven, high-intent discovery. High intent meaning people are searching for that specifically, right? It's their intent. You're not just being forced in front of them. Evergreen content with indefinite shelf life. Does everybody know what evergreen means? And it's okay if you don't, because when I heard it forever. And I was like, what the hell does a big ass tree have to do with my video? So evergreen means that it is always relevant. Okay. That's what that term means. So an evergreen video or evergreen content means that it will always be relevant months and years into the future. Compound growth over time and free organic traffic from motivated buyers. The Evergreen Edge, a YouTube video you record today about moving to your city in 2026 can still generate leads in 2028. An Instagram story from this morning is poof, gone. Right? Does everybody understand that? So I know some of you got on here a little bit after we got into that discussion, but let me just back up just for a second and explain the big difference between search and browse. Okay. If you're going to be on any social media whatsoever, unless you already have some tremendous following on like Instagram or something, I think it should be YouTube. You guys heard most of the reasons why. The reason why it's not it's not the same power. Like your video that you make and you put on YouTube, even if it's a YouTube short, right? A YouTube short is still very searchable from Google and everything else. It doesn't always have to be long form. But if I have a YouTube short and I have an Instagram story, same video, that Instagram story is gone tomorrow. And even if I have an Instagram reel that is on that content, it is not optimized for Google searches. It's optimized for searches within the same platform of Instagram, but it's not going to pop up like a YouTube video will, okay? Because Google's the #1 search engine in the world. YouTube's the #2 search engine in the world. YouTube is owned by Google, and Google loves itself. So anything that you put on YouTube is going to get you all the power of Google, okay? And like Vilma said too, it's going to get you the power of Google Maps where your business listing lives. All right, any questions on that so far? All right. This is where we get into some of the newer technology with AI, right? YouTube and Google AI overviews, your secret weapon in 2026. How many of you have done Google searches recently and go straight to the Google AI overview, like the AI answer? So if you've noticed, yep, thank you, Chris, myself too. When you do Google search as of like, I don't know, last 3 months, probably longer, you get an AI overview before it provides any links to other websites and pages and articles and things like that. And it's actually Google Gemini scanning, providing its thoughts, right? But providing its summary of what you want. And right under that, in the same Gemini overview, it's automatically linking to YouTube videos, full length and shorts. And I know this because I'm getting dirt bikes ready to ride for my son and I'm having to work on the motors that I've never done in my life. And so I'm doing these searches on Google, and the Gemini overview is taking me right to YouTube videos that have helped me every step of the way. So when I search for beach condos in Fort Myers, and Mario has an awesome video on his favorite beach condos in Fort Myers, that might get thrown right in front of me in that Google AI overview. And now I'm listening to Mario talk to me about the best Fort Myers beach condos. And if I like him and I roll with him, then I'm going to subscribe to him and I'm going to keep watching more videos and I'm going to learn all about Fort Myers Beach from Mario. Has anybody ever heard the term, it was in my head and just went whoa, right out the other ear. Emotional proximity. You guys ever heard that term?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Anybody want to try to define it for me? No.
When you don't know the person, but you feel like you know them because you see them all the time.
Yeah.
Internet.
Yeah. Like,
You can
well,
just relate.
yeah. Tell me if you guys went through this. So Command released and Market Center Tech Trainers became an official position in 2019, right? In the Keller Williams system. In 2020, the beginning of 2020, what did we have?
Pandemic.
Yep. And shut everybody down. And we have an entire group of 35 offices across the South Florida region with Market Center Tech Trainers, and we were on Zoom calls every single day together. And we didn't meet in person for the first time until sometime in 2021. We had already spent over a year on having a call every weekday with each other. And when we met for the first time, it was so freaking surreal because we felt like we were already family. It was nuts, right? It was almost hard to believe that you haven't actually been in the physical space of this other person. And that emotional proximity is what people can gain with you by buying through your YouTube videos, your social media, whatever, right? And I'm gonna try to not to say social media. I'm just gonna stick to YouTube. That social media, that emotional proximity is important. A lot of you have asked whether working with me or I've just heard the questions in other classes. Is it important to have your face in the video? What do you guys
Yes.
think?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Anybody freaked out by that?
Yes.
Yeah,
I hate being on
absolutely.
video.
All right. So it is 100% important that your face gets on your videos. All right. There are things that you can do to gain some confidence. You can do other things to still be authentic and have your presence on the video until you're comfortable enough to get there. Here's what I will tell you. There's two things that I have learned about video, the two quotes that really stick out to me. Okay. One of them comes from Sean Cannell, who's the owner of Think Media. They're a YouTube channel and podcast that I have been following for years. All right. And Sean says, you got to just press record. Too many people sit there like, I got to get the right gear. I got to save up to get this camera. I got to save up to get this. So everything's professional, blah, blah, blah. Right. Which leads me to the next quote, which is, my sucky video is better than your non-existent video. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to just get out and do it. And guess what? It gets better and better every time.
I
You
think
get better and better with it. What,
we're all
Jennifer?
used to being able to take selfies 50 times to get one right pose. So people are now afraid to create a video because like, oh, if I don't look good, if that's not my right angle, if if I stutter, whatever. So
my son said to me the other day, and I was like, I was driving and almost pulled over for a minute. But this goes right along with the theme. He's like, Dad, he's like, I'm just kind of getting this attitude of what the crap. Like, I'm just gonna do it. And that's how you have to be. You just have to do it.
It does get better, right? I mean,
yeah.
even it's a weird thing. I can't figure out why. For example, if I just do record my own and just look at it, I actually don't get better. But once I put it, somehow it works. Just seeing yourself wrong and ugly, kind of like, okay, I should try something else different next time, and it works. But if I just keep it to myself and review it, it doesn't do any impact. I don't know what it is. It has to be something subconsciously, because it's the same camera, same everything, but it just, unless you post it, it doesn't get any better.
Well, okay, so I wasn't quite catching that. So like, you'll record something and you keep it to yourself and you just keep watching it and judging it and everything. But when
I'll do like
it,
92 takes. I'll cut it out. I'll put like 6 hours into it, and I was like, what a garbage, and I just
Jennifer's shaking her head, feeling your pain. 92 takes.
Yep, done it 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's back to taking 50 selfies to get one good pose that you can post on social media. You just wasted an hour taking 50 selfies.
Okay, well, we're going to try not to do that.
It's like, do one and be good with it. And
don't look at it. Run.
You guys have heard the stories all the time about actors who will not watch their own movies because they don't want to judge themselves and see themselves. You guys have to do the same thing. If that's something that seriously gets to you, you have to learn to be okay with it. You just have to. You have to get there. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So here's the unfair advantage most agents don't know about yet. Google's AI overviews now pull video content from YouTube, like I was talking about. If you've done a search anytime recently and you've seen that AI from Gemini, when answering real estate questions, that means your neighborhood tour or buyer's guide video doesn't just live on YouTube. It can surface directly in Google search results without the viewer even clicking through. You know what I've never seen from the Google AI overview? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, any of the others.
That's because Google hasn't bought them yet.
That's true. That's true. Well, right before this class, so Patty, I saw the thing about Gary Vee, and then right before the class, I saw something about Zuckerberg that his $1 billion investment in Instagram, in 2012, I think is when he bought it, is now a $100 billion investment. I think he did all right there. But anyway, I don't think Google's going to be buying them anytime soon, but that's why we want to be on a Google platform, right? Yeah,
When
go
you
ahead, Pat.
when you say Google AI surfaces it, is that what you mean, that it uses it as a reference point?
Yeah, let me do something here. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. I appreciate the
Okay.
question.
I didn't know what the word, I mean, I know what the word surface means, but
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
nope, I appreciate you asking because it'll help to visualize. Okay, so let's say best places. This will help me anyway because I'm hoping that a YouTube channel that I want to show you pops up. All right, so here's our AI overview, right? This is what we get now in a Google search. You're not going to find this on Yahoo or I don't know, DuckDuckGo, like any of the other search engines. You're not going to find it. It's only going to be in Google because it's using Gemini Google AI overview. Okay, if I go to show more and I come down through here, see all these links, videos? Look at all those links. And a lot of times you'll actually get thumbnail clips down here underneath all this stuff. You'll get the thumbnail clips of the videos. But like
Can I
here's a link.
ask you? Can I
Yeah,
ask
go
you
ahead.
how does Google pick? Why? Because I know every single one of them is linked, and I see some of the YouTubes too, right? So the YouTube links. How do they pick it? Based on what? Is that popularity of the channel?
It's gonna be optimization of the channel, descriptions, keywords, and the title, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Brett, can you
Uh-huh.
hover over the YouTube links? Just hover over them for a second. There's a few
Sure.
of them. So there's that one. There's one just above it.
So see, it says YouTube plus 9. There's 9.
And then
different
there's one
links in
at the
here.
top. Yeah.
Yep. And then this one here,
that one.
YouTube plus 4.
So here's what I notice. A bunch of those videos are the same guy. That
They
tells
are.
you he's killing it. So
Yep.
maybe what we can do is, if we do searches like that, but for other major cities,
Mm-hmm.
we could see what it generates and then go to that guy's or that woman's channel,
Mm-hmm.
see what they're doing, and maybe use that as a template for emulation.
To Chris's point, I know some of you know this. What does R&D stand for outside of Keller Williams?
Rip and duplicate.
No, outside.
Research and development.
Thank you, Patty. Now, Vilma, what does R&D stand for within Keller Williams?
Well, I guess you just look at
Rip-
it and you just copy it, right? I mean,
It's rip
you
off
just
and
do your own
duplicate.
based on it.
Yeah, it's rip off and duplicate. So, Chris, what you brought up is a very valid point, and I have been following YouTubers, top YouTubers for years. Think Media, Vanessa Lau, Gary V, all of them, right?
Mhm.
And I'm more like focused on the tech space. But all of those people will tell you that they study their competition to know what the trends are, if they don't know, if they're missing anything, if they have videos that are super hot and they see something different in their thumbnail or different in their title. They all study their competition. We don't want to copy our competition, but like Chris said, we want to emulate it, right? We're going to take the idea and then put our own spin on it. It's I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's not different. It's not any different than performing a listing appointment, a listing presentation. You guys most likely have or will be mentored by somebody on a listing presentation, and that's going to be where your basis of knowledge comes from, and you're going to grow from that and put your own spin on it and evolve from that. And this is a similar process. Make sense?
I have a question about
Yeah.
the popularity.
Uh-huh.
So would it make sense that how many views there are on that video would somewhat help to push it up in the search, or
Yeah,
there's more than just that?
Probably. And the thing that YouTube loves more than anything else is consistency.
Okay.
So when we're talking about doing a YouTube video, we're talking about you committing to one video a week minimum. Okay? And that's long form video, 8 minutes or longer. And then from that long form video, I'm going to show you how to use a tool like Opus Clip or Descript to chop it up automatically into shorter portrait videos, right? So social media size in the portrait, chop it up into those that we can then post to other social medias and stuff like that to drive attention back to it. Okay. And then ultimately, end game, we're going to have some kind of lead magnet, lead funnel that is actually built into all of this, right? Like you might have a video about your buyer's guide, and we're going to link to that, and it goes to a Google form that once they give you their information and they do it in a TCPA friendly way, you're going to have the check boxes for them to approve that you can communicate with them. Then once they fill out that form, they automatically get the PDF of whatever that is. So this is how you build your email list and your client list too. Okay, so that's like the end game of how we pull all of this together. Not only are we building an awesome brand on YouTube, but we're also lead generating. So how many of you like picking up the phone and calling strangers that you don't know?
Never.
No? None of you? I can't believe that. I thought that was the only way to lead generate in real estate in 2026. No? Okay. So I would agree with that. And I've been doing this since 2003, and I've never liked picking up the phone. So I always looked for the technology ways to lead generate. And this is a great one. Jennifer, if you don't mind me using you as an example, you're brand new to Fort Myers, right?
Yes.
Okay. From many states away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you already have friends and family in Fort Myers, or you just wanted to get to warmer weather?
Just warmer weather. I packed up my 2 cats and my belongings, and I moved down here not knowing anybody.
Thank you. And real estate is a brand new career for you?
Correct.
Okay. So don't get upset by this, because you've got somebody like me to coach you through this, okay? Jennifer has a double whammy. She is brand new to real estate. And, hi, Katie. She is brand new to real estate, and she is brand new to an entirely new state, new community, has no sphere of influence here. And that is what makes YouTube so powerful, because she can build that brand. She can grow emotional proximity with people by utilizing YouTube. So in my eyes, this is the only way to lead generate when you're up against something like Jennifer is. Now, phone calls are still, figures the team leader comes in right when I'm talking about this, right? Phone calls are still important, expireds, FSBOs, because those are immediate business. However, ooh, do you see that? Barbie, an agent in our office, sold a $6 million deal from YouTube. One deal, or just in volume, you mean? In volume? But that's still great.
She did. One of the deals was 2 million. The rest were all like regular price, $200,000 to $400,000.
Does she
Yeah.
have a channel?
Yeah, called Buying with Barbie.
Mhm.
Buy a house with Barbie.
I think it's Buy a House with Barbie, yeah.
Yeah, Buy a House with Barbie, and she's too cute, and she's not doing it with a professional videographer. It's literally her husband right
Yeah, it's her and her husband doing it. And Katie, I think she was a similar situation, right? She moved here from Buffalo.
Yeah, Barbie doesn't know anybody, so that's why she chose YouTube as her way to do this.
Yep.
So,
and like we said, not going to get it from Instagram, not going to get it from Facebook, not going to get it from TikTok, not going to get it from X. None of those. YouTube's the only thing.
Other thing that you could do is, like, you know how Jack, with his consistency with his posting open houses every single day for 100 days, he went viral on day 67 because Facebook picked up his algorithm of what he was doing every single day. And now he gets 80,000 views on every video he does, and he's got buyers coming in out his ears. So
What is his channel?
Not everybody has etched Greek god face like Jack does either. So
Yeah, but he's only 22 and he doesn't know anybody in real estate. So
Yeah.
like he chose that as his path. So
And does Josh, what's Josh Facebook
Jack.
name? Jack?
Jack Flaherty.
How do you spell that?
FLAHERTY. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious because so many videos I watch and I was like, oh, cringe. And then the other ones are so fantastic. And I'm like, I don't want to be the cringe. So I want to look at the cool video and kind of like get inspired. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so that's a great example with Barbie, and that's kind of, you know, what we're talking about with Jennifer too, and some of you probably have similar stories. I think this is the #1 way to lead generate when you're up against a double whammy like that. Okay, so you record a video. Step 1, you're recording a video. Top 5 reasons to move to whatever your neighborhood is. 2, YouTube indexes it. Transcripts, titles, and descriptions become searchable data. That's why your descriptions and titles are so important. We have to have keywords in there, including your name and branding. Okay, so we're going to look at all that later. Google AI surfaces it, and I know that's kind of a new term. Patty, it's not a term I had really heard before either. But what that means is Google AI, Gemini, on the search results is actually bringing that up. It's bringing it to the surface. Okay, AI overviews cite your video in relevant search queries. And leads find you. Wouldn't it be so much better if you didn't have to pick up the phone and call 1,000 people that tell you to go fly a kite to finally get one that says, sure, come list my house? Wouldn't it be so much better if, well, here's an example. The mayor of Orlando calls you and says, hey, come list my house. Because somebody who will remain nameless since he left, but used to be a big part of Keller Williams. Similar story. He was already involved in real estate, but he was from another state, moved to Orlando, just decided he was going in on YouTube. And he built such an amazing business on YouTube that everybody knew who he was. And the mayor of Orlando said, I want you to come list my house. That's the difference, is that people are reaching out to you because they're already feeling like they know you, right? That's the power that you get.
I have one little success story.
Yeah?
Really quick. A few years ago, I did YouTube post on with the open house coming up. And one of the people that came in, he said, I was already driving there. So I pulled it on the Google Maps. And I don't know exactly how, but he was able to see my videos. He says, well, out of all of the houses, I decided to come to this one. I had a pretty nice setup there, and I guess that's what got him to come. But I was just curious, how did he get that video to see?
100 days, right, Katie? 100 days. He basically made the algorithm work for him through that level of consistency. And that actually sparked me wanting to get into this conversation. The reason YouTube works better than Facebook is because here's what most agents do. You guys will do 1 to 2 open houses a month at best. Maybe you're doing them every week. That's great. And you're going to film yourself in front of that video or in front of that house saying, hey, it's Brett Bishop with Keller Williams Realty. I'm here in front of 123 Flicka Flacka Lane today. And here, let me turn this camera around and show you what this house looks like. And I take you through the tour, right? And that's on Facebook. And maybe if I'm smart, I put it on Instagram too. And then I don't do another one for 2 weeks or a month, right? And it's not searchable on anything other than those platforms. Really. Like, you might get it to pop up on a Google search, but it's not going to show up like your YouTube videos. Okay? So, and then to go back and find it, like, it's irrelevant at that point anyway. But what you should be doing, there's 2 places that you should be putting your videos of your open houses. Okay, we're talking about YouTube today, so that one's obvious. Those of you that have been in my social media and branding classes before, or in these conversations that we've had around social media and branding, what's the #1 overlooked social platform that I tell you guys that I don't want you to forget, and you should be posting all of your videos there?
Google My Business?
Yes, Patty.
Your workplace or whatever
Yeah.
it's called.
No, you're right. It used to be called Google My Business. It still is. It's your business listing on Google. It actually shows up on Google Maps, but you can treat that just like it's Facebook or any other social media handle. Your video should be going on there. So if you have your video for your open house going on your Google business listing and YouTube, you're getting all kinds of SEO through Google. Okay. I love this. At the end, being searchable is the ultimate competitive advantage in 2026. Every agent has a headshot on Zillow. Only a few have a YouTube presence that Google's AI treats as an authoritative local source. To prove that point, which Chris picked up on, the same guy is popping. My Google search was best places to live in Boca Raton, Florida. I expected to see two of the biggest KW agents down there. Neither one of them are showing up. It's this guy, whatever his name is, right? He's the one showing up in all of these links. Most of his videos are showing up in all of these links, and that's where you want to get to. Okay? But that's the kind of searchable content that you could get from all of your videos if they're in a Google platform versus Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
So are you saying that the open houses should be put on YouTube as well?
Sure. Absolutely. Any video you do should live on YouTube. Because if I find, so let's say, Patty, that I'm looking for a year from now, I'm looking to sell my house in, are you in Naperville, Patty?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm looking to sell my house in Naperville, and Patty puts out all these awesome videos on market conditions and stats in Naperville. And I do a Google search, and I happen to find her through the Google AI overview because she just made a video that's telling me what's going on in the Naperville real estate market, right? And then I start to research her, and I see from her YouTube channel that she does she does an open house, what appears like every weekend or every other or whatever the case is, but she frequently does open houses. And me as a seller, that's important to me. You see where it all kind of connects?
Mm-hmm.
But if I find you on Facebook or I find you on YouTube, I don't know how many open houses you've done from Facebook. I'd have to then go figure you out on Facebook, and hopefully they're there, and they might be sporadic. And then the big idea here too, like we talked about and Jennifer brought up in the beginning, is if I'm going to concentrate all my energy into one place, what's that place going to be? And I don't think there's any better place than YouTube, period. Yes, Lori.
Hi, Brett.
Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this. Also, so if we're just outside, like, oh, hey, this is Lori, I'm hosting an open house today at 123 Main, blah, blah, blah. That would just be a YouTube short. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because long form is the 8-minute plus, like you recommend, but I don't know. I've heard varying things about shorts versus long form. And so I just wanted to know your take on that. Thank you.
It's a great question. So anything that is under 3 minutes is automatically going to be a short. If it's filmed in the vertical and it's under 3 minutes, YouTube's automatically going to know it's a short. Okay. Anything over 3 minutes, Lori, will be long form content. The 8-minute comes into play with you being able to monetize your channel. So think about this, guys. Big picture, building wealth, other income streams. There's people on YouTube that make 4, 5, 6 figures extra a year. A lot of them making 5 and 6, some 7. Wouldn't it be nice to be engaged in a social media channel that actually allows you to build that, right? So that's why if you're going to do long form content, I recommend you do it 8 minutes or longer because that gives you 2 ad plays on your video, and YouTube will pay more when you get to that point. Okay, I'll talk about monetization and everything later, but we want to build with the end in mind. So why not build it right now? And to that point, that brings up a good point that I think I have planned for next week, but I'll just go ahead and say it now. I am a huge advocate for you knowing how to use your kw.com email, sign into it. If you want to use it for your business, that's awesome. I also understand why agents don't like to use their kw.com email for their business. I want everybody to know how to log into their kw.com email because you get like 2 terabytes of storage on Google Drive. You get access to Notebook LM. You get all of the Google Business Suite apps, right? I do not want you to use your kw.com email to build your YouTube channel because you won't own it. Do not build your YouTube channel on your kw.com email. Okay? Any questions about that? You won't be able to monetize and you don't own it. So if anything ever changed, you had to get out of the business, you left, whatever the case may be, everything that you've built is gone. The other thing I don't want you to build on your kw.com email is your Google business profile. For all the same reasons. Okay, so I think I have slides later on that that will kind of bring us right back into that conversation. All right, but any questions on that initially?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is make a video, post it on YouTube, but best to just put the link onto your Facebook and or Instagram, because then if the link's there, it's always there, right? It's not just gone in 24 hours.
If you do it as a post, yes. Yeah. So I'll get into like cross posting, Jennifer, because I will do that. The other platforms don't like it when you post YouTube there, but some of them are still allowing it, but they really want you to feed content from their own platform, right? However, I still do that. It's still allowed on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram's probably going to shut it off sooner. But I'll post there sometimes.
I can tell you that I posted a video from YouTube on my Facebook page and not one person saw it. And I was like, this is so weird because it was the Budweiser commercial with the horses. And I thought, oh, how weird. Nobody's looked at this. And then I said, did anybody see this post? And they all went to my page and they said it was there, but nobody saw it in their feeds.
Yeah, they didn't push it.
They don't ban it, but they kind of, what do they call it? Shadow ban it, where they won't put it out there to everybody else.
They're not going to push it for you. It's on your page, but they'll have to go find it. They're not going to feed it to everybody. Yeah. All the platforms. Go ahead. Who was that?
Sorry, me.
It's okay.
Just thinking about it, because I've done that too, and nobody saw it, and it was, and I went through the feed, and I couldn't even see it my own post. So wouldn't that make sense to do that short video that has the link embedded to the YouTube? At least somebody would get an interest and could click on it. Wouldn't that be a better alternative?
But the other platforms are even getting to the point where they don't even want your link from another platform. They don't even want it. You'll get the same results. Okay, we're kind of getting off. We're chasing a squirrel here with other social media that I don't want to talk about, anymore at this point, because we're just talking about YouTube. We will talk about cross posting and what that looks like, because I know you guys want to know. What I would say, when we're filming these short videos, we're using our phone, right? If it's really that important to you, this is the short story, and we can talk about it more and when we get to another session. But the short part of it is put it on YouTube and then take the same video that's already on your phone and put it on Facebook. Don't share it from YouTube to Facebook. Okay? Most of you, at the end of this session, we're going to talk about gear. Okay? Because some of you probably think that it's going to cost a fortune. And I'm going to tell you that the gear that I use and think you should start with is going to be well under $100. Okay? Because you already have the most important thing that you need, which is the camera. Well, I'll tell you that's the second most important thing. Does that blow your mind? Do you think video is more important or audio?
Audio.
Yes.
talking and my mic is.
Valerie. Hello, Valerie.
I'm sorry I'm late, but I
all
had
right.
a call that got pushed to 3
It's all
o'clock.
good. It's all good. Did you say what was your
Audio.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about that a little bit more later too. But camera is definitely important, right? It's half of the deal. I mean, it is video. What's the best camera that you could possibly use?
Your phone.
Why?
It's always with you.
There you
Yeah.
go. Right and right and right. Because I saw Lori hold up her phone too. Yeah. You don't need some big fancy camera, especially because our phones these days have some of the fanciest cameras in them. Now, if you're getting into like micro photography and things like that, you're probably going to need to invest in a camera. But for what a real estate agent needs video for, your phone is amazing. Okay. All right. Let's jump in here and compliance and the legal safety net. So this has actually come up. Vilma, I think you and I had a conversation about this too just the other day. Well, actually today. It was about your signs, but it comes up for any kind of advertising, okay? I am going to throw the caveat out there that I am in Florida. I know a lot of you are in Florida too. I am not a broker. So these questions and these state-specific things need to go to your brokers. However, there are very specific laws around, rules and regulations from your state real estate commission, right? Some of them may be laws, some of them may not. But I know in Florida, they're like written into the statutes. There's going to be very specific laws, rules, and regulations around what your branding looks like and how and where it has to be, okay? So I throw this in there just to let you know that it's important. I think having branding up for a reasonable amount of time in your video is a great idea. And then we're also going to include it in the description of the video. So what I do to help me with my descriptions is I use a Google Doc, and it's just called YouTube Video Descriptions Template. And everything that I include in my description, because every description has the same basic template, it's just the description and the call out for me that changes from video to video. But the gear list that I use to film videos and like in my studio and stuff, that's all the same. And I got really tired of typing that out all the time, right? So I put it in a template. And with that, you can go ahead and put your branding in here too, the contact information, your office. I don't know. So there's no logos in the description, so it'll be all text and emojis, right? But you can put a logo in an overlay on your video, and we'll get into that later in future sessions, okay? Any questions on that? This is boring stuff, but it's important. Keeps you out of real estate jail.
So you're saying that in the video, the logo has to be seen someplace in it? The broker's logo?
It does. I'm pretty sure that it does here in Florida. You'll have to check, Valerie, with your state laws in Illinois.
I just took that class. I think it did say something like that.
I think anytime you're showing your contact information, it has to be clear which office you're with, and it can't just be a flash on the screen. It has to be up for a reasonable amount of time.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah.
So
it's
what
true
I
here,
recommend, what I typically recommend is that your video, when you introduce your video, you know, hey, it's Brett Bishop, and I want to talk to you about the 5 reasons to move to Port Charlotte, Florida. And that was a joke. Nobody caught that. Not even my Fort Myers people.
I did.
Then I would have my logo and contact information show up on screen with me, right? And then I'll have it like fade out as I'm talking. The graphic will just fade out. But I use an end screen with every video. And on that end screen, I can have branding. So what end screen is it's just the last screen that stays static at the end of your video. You're done. You're done. You're saying, thanks for finding out about the 5 best reasons for moving to Port Charlotte, Florida. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And then it cuts out and my end screen comes on, and that has all my branding on it. It's also
Okay.
It's also where you're going to tell YouTube to place this video for the next best video for the consumer to watch, and you're going to put a playlist there if you want, that sort of thing. Okay, we'll get into that towards the end of these sessions, but that's how I do it. And you see how I just like rattled off that sign off?
Right.
That didn't come natural,
No.
right? That's from making a lot of videos and a lot of mistakes. But it will come natural to the point where you can just think about it for a split second and it just starts falling out of your mouth, basically. All right.
Is that what's considered? Maybe these are old terms, but an intro and an outro.
Yes,
is
ma'am.
that outro end with that final screen?
Yep, absolutely. So the outro would be my sign off, asking them. So it's a call to action, right? To comment, like, and subscribe. Those are going to be the 3 most important things that you say in your YouTube channel or in your YouTube videos. Comment, like, and subscribe. And then that will go right into my end screen, and that together would be considered the outro. Okay. Your intro is going to be you introducing with a hook. The hook is, what are the 5 best reasons to move to Port Charlotte, Florida? Right? So something like that. Something that gets them to be like, oh, okay, what is this? Okay. We kind of talked about that enough. This actually outlines it, and I'll share this information with you too, okay? I'm going to put together a Google folder, and I'm going to put all this stuff in there so that you guys have a resources packet of all this stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So to that point, if you could leave your email addresses in the chat for me, that would be fantastic. That way I can come back and find them. All right. Okay, so fair housing and the crime trap, what you must never say on camera. We all know what the crime trap is. You guys are not, at least here in Florida, I would imagine it's the same in Illinois. We are not allowed to talk about crime statistics in a neighborhood at all. Not at all. Is this neighborhood safe? I can refer you to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office website, and you can view the information for yourself and determine that for yourself. That's what that conversation is like. And
for sure.
And then we get the people, especially if they're friends or family, right? And they're like, don't necessarily trust friends. No, I'm just kidding. They might be the first ones to turn you in. You better make sure that's a solid relationship first. But you can't. They'll be like, come on, like we're closed. Tell me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. My license doesn't let me. So things like that. You have to be careful not to talk about things like that. They have to be able to formulate their own opinion. You just direct them to the right things. And the reason it's important in your videos is because your videos will be, they're evergreen for good content and they're evergreen for catching you in a slip up. All right. Personal versus brand account. How many of you knew there was such thing as a brand account?
No.
All right. So let's go through this. This is going to be an important slide for you guys to think about, especially when it comes to those of you that may want to build a real estate team. And at the very least, you may want to start leveraging some of this, like if editing videos, because I'll tell you, I have a whole bunch of videos recorded. I love making videos. I despise editing them. Once I'm into it and I get into the creative process, it's awesome, but it is like pulling teeth to get me to sit down and edit a video, right? So you may want to leverage some of that out. You can't do that with a personal account without sharing your personal Gmail email login. And I don't think anybody really wants to do that, right? Okay, so one of the most consequential decisions you'll make in YouTube happens before you record a single second of footage. Which type of account do you create? This choice affects your privacy, your team's ability to access the channel, and how Google indexes your content. So brand account is recommended, separate identity from your personal Google, multiple managers, no shared passwords, custom channel name, optimized for SEO, scalable for teams, assistants, or VAs, okay? And you can have professional naming. The channel name is your Google account name on a private one. So most of us, especially if you're working with me, we're going to set you up with a brand account. You want to use a brand account. Every Google Gmail address, you go to YouTube and it's going to show you that you have a YouTube account, right? Because it's part of Gmail's products. However, you do not want to build that YouTube channel on the account that says your name. You're going to create a new channel. You're going to make it as a brand channel, and then you can give it a name that makes sense. Okay, so we'll get into more of that later. Any questions around that for now? But you see, and this is something that we've talked about. I've actually talked to a couple of you about it. Like our channel name, we want the channel name to be SEO friendly too. We want it to talk about who you are and what you do. Right? Like, I've worked with somebody in the past that had this slogan in their head and they loved it and it was great, but it was more of a slang term and it wasn't widely known to be a real estate term. So I would advise against stuff like that, right? You want it to be crystal clear across all audiences.
Question about this. If I already do have, I started out with one email and then I had the other one. I had over, I think my reviews, I liked reviewing businesses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some reviews as a realtor on it, which was difficult to even get it to get going. So do I need to get rid of it now and start all over? Okay, I don't mind using my personal email. Like, what is the problem with the personal email? The biggest problem, would you say?
The biggest problem is you
questions.
can't change the channel name.
Okay.
Yeah. Vilma, let's look at, if anybody has like specific stuff that you want to look at, then let's look at it on a session of Pro Desk.
Hey, Brett, I have a question.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
On the brand account, is there an administrator?
So you are the primary owner when you open it.
Okay, so my next question is, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, then you can invite other people in to have access with different roles. You can have other owners, you can have managers.
Now, when you bring those other people in, can you give them can you limit what they're able to do with the account? Like, I mean, my assistant's been with me 22 years. I don't anticipate he's going to become disgruntled, but say I hire a new assistant and they become disgruntled and they go in there and they delete the whole thing. Can you limit what they can do?
Yes, you can, and you need to. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you can also even transfer ownership of a brand account to another Gmail account. I just had to do it with agents out of one of the Tampa offices, because they had inadvertently built 3 YouTube channels over the years and they were posting to 2, and we needed to get it narrowed down to 1. So we chose the one that we really wanted to build everything around, but it was in a kw.com email address. So we had to get it out of there. So we opened a new Gmail that they would own personally, and then we had to request the transfer of ownership. First, we had to bring that account in as owner. Then we had to request transfer as primary owner, and that took a full 7-day waiting period to do. And then we were able to get it out of the kw.com email and into their email, their Gmail address, that they would then own all the rights to it. So a lot of this stuff can be done after the fact if there are some mistakes. But when you're looking at it, if it's, you want to start with a brand account. Okay. I do believe that we can transfer. It's been a long time since I've looked at it, but we'll look at all that stuff together. All right. The look at the lens mindset. Here's one. This one really gets me because I see some successful YouTubers that have actually gained their success rather rapidly, because I've been following them from like their first video. And some of them have the worst camera techniques and they're still growing. So let that be a lesson to you. You don't even have to be that good at YouTube and you can still like build a following, right? One of the worst things is when this comes into play more when you have a camera that has a slide out, so like a digital SLR or a mirrorless camera that has the pop out screen, right, that comes off the side or the top or whatever, or if you have a monitor next to it in the camera, your eyes tend to want to look at yourself like we do when we look in a mirror. That's where your eyes tend to go, right? So important, looking at the lens of the camera. If you're not going to use your phone, if you're going to use, let me turn this off. If you're going to use a real camera, right, like a digital SLR or a mirrorless, you want to make sure that you are looking at the lens of the camera. So, and even to that point, like if your camera is close up to your face, like this, and you're not looking at the lens on the camera in your phone, it's still going to be obvious that you're not looking at the viewer. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Have you ever watched a video where somebody's eyes, like even in these Zoom calls, right? These are really hard. Like if I look at you right now on my camera to where I can't see any of your faces, it looks like you and I are having a personal conversation and I'm looking right into your eyes, right? Like this. That's how your camera has to be. So even if you're going to use your phone, you have to know where that lens is on your camera. And on recent iPhones, it's up here at the top. So you have to look at that top part. If I'm looking in the middle of the screen, it still shows disconnection. All right. Eye contact is everything in this. It's the whole point of the emotional proximity. And when you're not looking into the lens of the camera, you actually disconnect from your audience. I would challenge you to go find videos where the YouTuber is not looking directly into the lens, and you can find them, and it's awkward. Like with my experience and all the years I've been consuming YouTube and everything, when I find those moments, I almost, unless the content's really good, I'm going to get off the channel. I'm going to move from the video because it's I don't know if it's distracting, annoying, or whatever, but it's definitely a disconnection. All right, so the googly eye trick is a funny trick. If you guys read that, take a googly eye and stick it over the lens of your camera and look into the googly eye of that. You could talk to one person, so you pretend that you're actually talking to a person and not a full audience of people that you don't know, right? And I think that's the most important one, especially if you were going to get into video podcasting. All right. Podcasting is another passion of mine. And I feel like if you're going to do a podcast, you might as well do a video podcast. And then you've got more content, right? Especially if you're going to do podcasting about real estate in your area, make it a video podcast. And now you have more content for videos on your channel. But when you're in that podcasting environment, if you think about yourself talking to a friend, a customer, a client about what you're talking about, then it will be more authentic. It'll have a warmer feel to it than if you're kind of looking at the lens, but you're kind of like, disengaged because you're imagining just a million people that you don't know on the other side of that lens. Does that make sense?
I wish there was a million people.
Well, you're going to get there, but you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's on their path to 1 million today. Right?
Can I ask a dumb question about the googly eye trick?
I am sure it's not dumb. Go ahead.
If you stick a googly eye on that lens, won't you be filming through that thing? Won't it block it?
So I thought that is not a dumb question because I thought the same thing. What you want to do is put it just over or just under so that your eyes go right to that place. So like when we were talking about on our phones, I could put one right here, right underneath, right? Or I could put it on my case right over. Yes.
Or you
So it's
could cut a hole in the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's a good idea. It's more of an arts and crafts project, but yeah.
Then you're
Absolutely.
centered on it. You could just take a hole punch.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you could do that. So get creative with it if that's what you want to do. I just learned to stare into the abyss of the lens and pretend that I'm talking to somebody I know. Yep.
So I want to ask you a question, Brett, and I know that this is going to make a bunch of people cringe. Probably. I'm not sold on this. I mean, I'll be doing videos for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen online that AI is just getting so good. And I'm starting to see AI programs where I could sit in the front of the camera and I could do a video, or I could even upload a few pictures of myself. And then what this program will do, this is crazy, okay? But what it will do is you could literally write a script and you could tell it to show you in casual attire on the beach talking to your audience, or you could say, show me in a suit, at an attorney's office talking to, the audience. And it'll take the pictures of you that you uploaded and the script that you've provided, and automatically, instead of driving to an attorney's office and doing an actual video, it will create an AI video of you speaking the script dressed in a suit with the pictures that you've provided and the script you've provided inside an attorney's office. And I see that as maybe a way to, leverage, if it gets good enough so that it passes, the Turing test.
Yeah. So there's a lot of AI tools out there, right? I actually use one called HeyGen that creates a fantastic video avatar of yourself. You actually create it. So that is going to be in our discussion about what to do if you're afraid to be in front of the camera. But yeah, that's valid, Chris, for sure. And that's going to be one of the ideas that we talk about. Another thing on this particular topic about keeping your eyes on camera, Descript is a favorite AI tool of mine. It does video editing, audio editing. It cuts your long form videos into clips for social media. It does a lot of stuff. But what it became famous for when it first came out a couple years ago is that I can read a script off camera like I'm doing right now, to where my eyes are off camera and you can clearly tell that I'm not connecting with you. And all I have to do is click the eye contact button in Descript, and now it will automatically, with AI, put my eyes on the camera. And as I'm talking to you, it looks like I'm talking to you, but my eyes were never looking at you in the camera. So there's lots of cool AI tools that we can do for that, right? And when we talk about getting ready to be in front of the camera, and Jennifer's 50 takes and Vilma said like 92 takes or whatever she said, these are tools that we can use to help us gain that confidence, right? So like Chris brought up, you can have an AI avatar or an AI video created of you. You can actually be more comfortable by just reading the script off screen and then using something like Descript to pull your eyes back on camera. So there's lots of tools that we can use to actually get you to the point that you're comfortable being on camera. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Chris.
Yeah, I did some searching in the App Store too, because what I was doing in my videos was I was taping my script up high as close to the camera as possible. And I found out that you can buy a few teleprompter apps that'll scroll your script up at whatever speed you want to speak it or whatever, and keep that line that you're speaking close to the camera. Got to play around with the speed a little bit so that it doesn't scroll faster. or
Yeah,
too, too fast
you'll
or
get
too
used
slow.
to that. Yeah, for sure. So at the end of this session, we're going to talk about gear, and we're also going to talk about software for video editing and teleprompters too, because I have a favorite that I'm going to recommend. Okay. And then the 3-take rule, Jennifer probably already read that and said no way. Don't expect take one to be perfect. Professional broadcasters rarely nail it first. Give yourself 3 takes minimum. It's okay to start with 50. And then as long as you're working down and not up, then you're making progress. Give yourself 3 takes minimum. You'll be shocked how much more natural you sound by take 3. And that's the one you keep. And it all gets better with practice. It's like everything else, guys, right? Just like your conversations, right? We don't use the dirty S word script around here, but your conversations, your role play conversations, dialogues, all those get better with practice. Your camera work gets better with practice. Confidence reframe. You're not performing for thousands of strangers. You're helping one person who Googled a question you know the answer to. That's all YouTube ever is. And that's really all it ever was, right? That's where the real estate side of YouTube comes in. Sure, there's a lot of crazy people on YouTube. I get that. And they're not answering questions. In fact, they're making us question a lot more by their mere existence. But in our space, in the real estate world, we are there to answer questions. And that's where we gain the following, the subscribers. Everybody understands subscribers with YouTube because that's a word that throws people off. They're like, what do you mean you want me to subscribe? You're going to take money from me just to watch your videos? I wish they would change that word because I think it keeps people from subscribing to our channels. Subscribing is 100% totally free. It's just that's what YouTube calls their follow because they were around before any of the other social media. And to follow somebody on YouTube is to subscribe to them, but it doesn't cost any money. Now we get into the fun stuff. This is where my gearhead brain gets rattled and ready. Okay, so we kind of talked about this a little bit. Camera, it's going to be your phone, right? The best camera you could ever use is the one you always have with you. So now there's going to be certain settings you can use. Like I've been using cinematic for videos, especially talking head videos up close, because what it does is it blurs the background. Okay. It's called bokeh. The fancy word for it in photography terms is bokeh, B-O-K-E. And that's when things get blurry in the background, it has an amazing look on YouTube. Right. And your cameras can do it with the cinematic setting on your camera, or on your phone. All right. The next thing, more important than the quality of the video, is audio. Okay. Audio, I will tell you, is 80% of your video. It's not 50-50. A lot of YouTubers will say audio is 50% of your video. It's more than that. It's 80-20. Here's what happens most of the time, because, and I love that the agents are doing the work and they're putting themselves on video. I love it. Okay. Barbie, that my team leader mentioned, I've heard it from her, and I actually talked to her about it and said, hey, I would recommend you get a great mic and that'll take care of that. And it's all good. Most agents are guilty of whipping their phone out, filming their video at their open house outside, and all you hear is just wind the entire time. And I'm going to tell you right now, my ears can't handle that. The minute I hear more than just a slight crackle of wind, the minute it starts to become just most of the audio, I flip off. I'm out. I won't listen. Whereas if you have crystal clear audio and I don't hear wind noise and I just hear your amazing soothing voice, but your audio or your video might be a little crappy. Like, I don't know, the colors might be off. It might be slightly grainy, whatever. I'm still going to watch because I can hear your message, right? And what sets that apart that we don't have from our phone microphones, so the one that's on the screen, I actually own. My wife owns it too, and it's the one that I recommend to everybody because it's only $40 and it's amazing the quality that it is for $40. So it's what it looks like in this cute little case, and it's a charging case too. Okay. So it's a charging case, and it's got 2 microphones, and this is a USB receiver. So this just plugs into the bottom of your phone. This will not work for anything older than an iPhone 15. Okay. iPhone 14 and older, you're going to need the next step up from this that actually includes, I have that one too. I might have an Amazon problem. Don't tell anybody. That one actually has, this is the version in white, and it has the lightning connector and the USB-C connector. But this one's like $20 more. This one's $60 instead of $40.
Does it work for Android also?
The USB-C should work for Android because Android's always been on USB-C.
And then the older one that you just showed, could I just use any other connector? Probably would work, right? If I already have something from iPhone to
Sometimes you mean like an adapter to go from Lightning to USB-C?
Yeah.
It depends. If it's a super cheap one from Amazon, it's not going to work. If it's relatively, like I'd say $10, $15 or more, then it's probably going to work. You don't know until you try it, Vilma.
Okay.
Yeah, but sometimes they do. Now, here's the other cool thing about this. This is not just for your video. Or, sorry, your camera. Your phone. I'll get the word eventually. This will work in your computer, your laptop. So if you want to have your Zoom call sound better, if you want to record video from your laptop because you're in a pinch and you just want to record something really quick, you can just plug this into your laptop and it works like that too. Okay, cool thing is we plug this in and your phone will automatically switch. What I love about this one is when I plug that in, you're going to see 2 lights come on once I pull these out. Okay, and they're going to show you that one just turned to purple, and that's a purple microphone. See the light on there? That one's purple, and that shows you purple. And then this one, that will go to yellow, and now that has yellow light, so it actually has LEDs on it that identify it, right? And I'm going to send you guys links to all of this equipment. I'm going to put that in there too and email it to you. I'm going to send you my Amazon links. It doesn't cost you any more, but I get a little bit of credit for it. So if you are going to buy anything, I appreciate it if you do it with that. And why these are so good is because, don't get mad at me, cat lovers. They come with dead cats. That's what they're called. You can hate on the photography people that invented the name. It's called a dead cat. And it just goes right over like that. And this will prevent wind noise from a Category 3 hurricane. Okay, that may be a made up.
Yes, I've seen that. I love that. I was going to ask. I bought a mic and I can't find it, that's what I went away for. Besides the sign guy,
Yeah.
But I was looking for it. But I've seen people use that,
and
that keeps out.
It keeps all the wind out. I may have been exaggerating on a Category 3 hurricane, but in your normal filming with even on the windiest of days, this is going to cut all that out. Okay. Now, it doesn't look the best when it's on, right? Like it shows up quite a bit more.
Like a little flower.
I'm okay with that though. Because
I've seen people just hold it in their hands.
Okay, so Brett's ultimate pet peeve when it comes to YouTube is people that buy a mic that is supposed to be worn like this. Mike knows where I'm going with this. Mike knows where I'm going with this. And then they hold it all dainty, like, welcome to my open house. Let's talk, right? And it's weird. It's weird. If you buy a lapel mic, put it on, please. Now, if you want to turn it into a handheld, watch this trick. They actually make
For the mic?
They actually make a dummy microphone that looks just like a real mic. Mike, I love it. We're on the same page, dude. You knew what I was talking about. I can't stand it. Like, you're supposed to buy these microphones for how small they are and convenient to wear, and then you're holding it like a fool anyway.
Yeah, and then they interview people with them too, and it's even more annoying.
Yep. So
that's what I've seen. Yeah.
So this is a dummy mic. Take the top off, and it's just got 2 chambers inside, right? And that is so you take your wireless mic and make sure the capsule's up. The top of the microphone is the capsule. That's what you're talking into.
Okay.
And you just put it in here with the magnet like that. Put the top back on. And now I have a mic that looks natural when I interview somebody.
Oh, that's what they use on some of those videos. They have that dummy mic with the little mic inside.
Yep. So lots of things that you can do with that. This is also awesome because it's 2 mics for that price, which is amazing.
How much is it?
It's $40, $39.90. I'm gonna send everybody links to all this stuff.
Okay.
The
question about the mics.
Yeah.
Do you ever have disconnecting issues with it? I mean, I would assume you would say something, but I have one of these, just like it. And I noticed that when you move away too far, it will disconnect and it will not show that it's disconnected. And it's this guy right here. It was about $40-$50 too. Same thing.
So pull out one of those mics, because I guarantee I know what it looks like. Okay, well, that one looks a little bit better. That looks like the RGB link one that I have. I will tell you that this one works up to 600 feet away, and you are never going to film that far away from your phone.
Okay.
Okay. If you like serious name brand stuff, DJI has a new kit with their mic mini that's only $45, and it's 2 mics in a receiver. This part in your phone's the receiver. Let me put this link in the chat for you guys.
And this is on Amazon?
Yep. It's a list that I put together.
Okay, cool.
So that'll show you. So here's a light if you need one, right? Battery operated, RGB plus warm white, cool white, all that stuff. You can use it as an accent light, like behind me, if you wanted to up your videos a little bit, depending on where you're filming from. The phone holder. This is the stand that I personally use, and it's amazing. It also seconds as a personal defense device because it's about the size and weight of a police nightstick. It's heavy. Not too heavy to carry, but heavy enough to beat the crap out of somebody if you got to protect yourself. These are those dummy microphones. And then here's the mic set here. Okay. The reason I like this handle is because it goes to about 7.5 to 8 feet tall. I'm 6'3", right? Vilma's got one.
And guess what? One. When you travel with it,
they
will unpack your backpack all the time. So just pull it.
I love it. So I'm like 6'3", so I need one that gets pretty tall. And most of the selfie sticks out there only go to about 5 feet. And so that's not tall enough for me. What's great about this stick and the wireless mic is, and when we're inside, right? When we're inside, we don't need the dead cat. So now, especially if I'm wearing a dark colored shirt, or you ladies will see when you click on that link, they come in different colors. They come in white, and they also come in some pastel colors too. But when I'm wearing it, it's discreet, right? It doesn't really show up that much. So, and you can also turn it the other way. Like if I was wearing, say you ladies were wearing a blazer or something, I could actually put the magnet on the outside and tuck the mic just inside the lapel of the blazer, and it'll still work. And then you would see less. But if you're doing an open house and you want to film the inside of the open house, you set your phone up on this stand, and you can be all the way across the room and walk towards the camera for dramatic effect and just really up the quality of your videos, you know? Any questions around that stuff? Okay. Video editing software. What do you, does anybody currently edit videos? And what do you like to use?
I tried Canva and I like the options. I really wanted to see a different maybe platform with more templates to choose from. This one, it wasn't bad, but I think it was max like 8. And then I had to scroll through styles and it was really difficult to kind of foresee which music is it coming with. And then you have to click and wait to upload, download, and then you finally get to hear the music. So I went through pain of spending.
But when you're talking about templates, Vilma, because I want to be super clear, when you're talking about templates, you're talking about catchy templates for social media. And that's not what we're talking about here. We're not doing all that kooky stuff. Not that it's kooky, but you know what I mean? Like, we're not doing that trendy stuff. That's not what we're doing. Our videos are primarily going to be talking head with B-roll. So I'm going to give you some terms here. We have A-roll and we have B-roll. Anybody know what they are? What's A-roll?
The main stuff.
Yeah, the A-roll is also talking head. So talking head and A-roll are interchangeable terms. A-roll meaning your primary roll. Roll, R-O-L-L, from old school camera terms when the film was literally rolling in the camera, right? B-roll is your filler and dramatic effect type video and emphasis video. So if I'm introducing the local hotspot in Naperville, my favorite restaurant, I'm going to introduce it with a talking head outside of it. That's my A-roll. I might be like right outside of it talking about it. And then after I introduce it, I might cut the video to me filming the sign out front and then, you know, walking in the door and starting to show off the inside of the restaurant. That would be B-roll. Now, I don't want to get too far in the weeds with this, but this is why video editing is so important, because when that V-roll, that B-roll is showing, my audio from my A-roll when I'm talking is actually what's playing. Okay, so we'll get into some examples as we move into the other sessions where we get more in detail. But that's why you're not going to use some like really chintzy video editor. Canva will work because they just, like a couple months ago, maybe it's been 3 months. I don't know. Time flies so fast, doesn't it, guys? It may be 3 months already. But Canva recently upgraded their video editor to be a full-fledged video editor to where you can stack your films in the timeline. Okay,
but that's when I did it with you. It was you that was teaching it. So that's when I tried Canva before I did a CapCut.
Yeah. So that's another one. You can use CapCut too. CapCut's owned by TikTok. CapCut is kind of expensive for what it does. Like the CapCut I was using was $30 a month, and I don't need to pay that kind of money because I can get a year subscription with another brand for less. My favorite software, the one that I actually use all the time for my videos, is Wondershare Filmora.
Who?
Wondershare Filmora. Wondershare is the name of the company, and Filmora is the product.
Where did I get Opus Clip from?
That's good, but that's when we're cutting our long form video into short form videos.
Okay.
Because it does it automatically.
Before you proceed to Filmora, does it do that much more than Canva? I don't want to go again, widen all of the details and then trying to figure out which platform and then just 20 hours later, I'm not doing anything.
First of all, I'm going to have you guys start free. What video editor do you guys have for free?
Canva, I have Pro.
Yeah. You have Canva for free as Keller Williams agents because we have Canva enterprise accounts that is already included in your technology fee. So we're going to start there.
Let's start with Canva.
Yeah.
I just don't want to learn a lot of platforms and waste time learning and then not.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
The reason I like Filmora, so what I would say, like, Mac users want to use Final Cut Pro because that's like the professional for Mac, right? Yeah. PC users and some Mac users want to use Adobe Premiere Pro because that's Adobe's Mac Daddy, you know, video editor. Here's what I found. When I wanted to do something in Premiere Pro, I was spending 30 minutes to 2 hours on YouTube trying to figure out how to do what I wanted to do in Premiere Pro because it's such convoluted, complex software. I found from Filmora, which I started video editing with many years ago and thought that I had to have the pro crap that everybody else uses, right? I found that in Filmora, I can do what needs to be done in Premiere Pro with 10 to 20 clicks. I can do in 1 to 3 clicks in Filmora. So I went back to Filmora. It's easier to use, way easier to use, and it is every bit as advanced with less.
And how much is this, Brett? Is it free?
No, freemium. No, it's not free at all. But the basic is $50 a year or $4.16 a month. So here's the prices on the screen. Advanced is $4.99 a month. It depends on how many, like if you want access to creative assets too. Creative assets just gives you a lot of like royalty-free B-roll and audio and things like that that you can use. But that's pretty expensive to add. It's $20 a month. It's more than the software itself.
Right. I'm not doing a lot of videos.
Yeah. So I'm just showing, like, if you get to a point that you want a full-fledged video editor, this is what I would recommend over Final Cut or Premiere Pro. However, in this series, we're going to start with Canva because you all have access to it.
Good. Right.
Okay. And then, yes, we talked about Opus Clip. So Opus Clip is this software, and what it does is it takes your long form video and cuts it up into short clips that you can post to your social media channels. And what's beautiful about this is it will automatically post for you. You can link all your social media channels, have it cut your long form video, and then tell it to automatically post to your social media. Okay, because what
I got that from you. I think it was a class I was in with you.
Yeah. So what we would use this for is to get our followers on social media, because some of us have been on Facebook for quite a while, and we might have a lot of friends and family and followers on Facebook, right? Or we might have a lot on Instagram. And we're starting a YouTube channel from scratch. So what we can do is we can cut up that video with something like Opus Clip and post those to the social platforms where we have a lot of followers and entice them to come watch the full video on YouTube. And that's where we're going to put the link in the description of our post.
Is Opus limited to how many of them we can do or no?
What do you mean? How many of what? How many of the clips?
Like total. I think it's like it was warning me that I need to purchase the.
Yeah, I mean on the free version, it's going to be limited. Yeah.
Limited, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that limit is though.
Okay.
Yeah. The other cool thing is that you get branding with it too. So let me see. So see, like on this one, I'm actually able to put my RTG Realty Tech Google logo as an overlay. It actually will provide the transcript. It gives you a virality score of how, so meaning the odds of it going viral or garnering attention, right? And then you can publish on social with a calendar. I can publish now. I can schedule it out. So while filming and, creating and having published one video a week sounds like a lot, I can lean on software like this to handle all the other stuff, to post it out to social media for me and drive traffic back to this.
Right. And what was HeyGen?
So HeyGen is video avatar. I'm not going to get into that right now.
Okay. I just wanted to know for my notes. I want to put in here video avatar.
Yeah. I use it to like when I mean it's literally a clone. It's a digital clone of yourself that you actually created, but then I make it. And Valerie, you've been in that class. I think that same class I did Opus Clip, we talked about HeyGen.
Exactly, yes.
I spoke fluent Spanish, even though I can't speak a word of Spanish.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, that's the one. Okay. And then So we got our video editing and then clipping things. We've got our list of gear as far as what the most important things are. So if anybody has any question about like a gimbal, right? You guys know what a gimbal is? It's a motorized handle. Do you have one, Vilma?
2 years been sitting. I haven't even set it up because it's that difficult for me to figure this out.
That right there is what most agents tell me. They'll spend $200 or more on a gimbal, and it's been sitting on the shelf because they haven't figured it out. Actually, one of the top agents in my office, I was helping them with some podcast gear, and she's like, here, if you can figure out how it works, you can have it. Well, if I figure out how it works, I'm going to give it back to her and train her on how to use it. But that's what normally happens. So that's why I like the selfie stick. It is not complicated. There is nothing to do except put your phone on it and carry it around.
Yeah. To your point, my brother is doing a lot of videos, and a lot. And I mean, this guy does a lot, and he edits it with Final Cut Pro. And it's just a selfie stick. It's just like in his face, like moving around, and he gets it done. I mean, it's not viral, and it's a great content. And it took a lot for him to finally get to the point where he got the views and he got the followers. And it was only one video, and we're just sitting and digesting because I was in Europe for about a month. Mm-hmm. That's why I wasn't here. And we literally we just put it on the TV and we were watching his videos. They were that good. And you could see which one like catches your attention and which one doesn't. It takes a lot of practice. And he does everything just as simple, no gimbals, not even a microphone. Actually, he just, I don't know.
Well, I would advise against no microphone.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You can hear the quality. Like once you start using a microphone with your phone, you can tell when you're not. If you're inside, it's not nearly as bad as long as you're close to your phone. But see, with this microphone, like I was just thinking about this as you know, you're telling the story. If I'm doing a restaurant review or best restaurants in Naperville, right? Mm-hmm. I can actually set my phone up recording inside the restaurant, and it's filming me as I'm opening the door and walking in, and I can just be me. If I have one of those expensive gimbals that I can't figure out how to use, I can't do that because I have to physically hold it, right? This is a nice tall stand that I can set up as like my, dummy cameraman wherever I want him to be. So I think it works out a lot better to do it that way.
Do you recommend any of the microphones that are like they look fuzzy? Is that what helps with the wind? And this is instead of that?
So, well, we talked about that, right? With this dead cat.
The dead cat is just a cover, right?
Yeah. If you're gonna be outside, I don't know what I did with the other one. I lost one of my dead cats. If you're gonna be outside, and this mic set comes with one, if you're outside and it's windy at all, even when you think it's not windy, there's gonna be wind. You should always use a dead cat when you're outside. Always.
Okay, and I can't.
I'm sorry.
I can't see what you. Okay. I didn't. Okay, I didn't see what.
No, that's okay. So yeah, this mic kit comes with all of this stuff for that $40. That's what makes it such a high value item.
It does.
Yeah, comes with all of it. The case is rechargeable, so you put everything in the case, and then you just plug the case in to the USB-C charger. And when the case is charged, it will recharge both of the mics like 4 or 5 times. And it comes with the bag, so you can keep the dead cats in here because like all of this stuff fits in the bag, right? Because
it's got 2 of them in there.
Dead cats won't fit in here.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, then they don't need to. It's charging.
But yes, you should always use them when you're outside. Always.
Okay. I thought what you had put.
Go ahead, Patty.
Go ahead.
I thought when you were talking about that dead cat that it was just something that was slipping over, and I could. You're small on my screen, so I couldn't see.
Yeah, I remembered that I am on your screen, and that's exactly what it does. So I don't know if you can see this. It's a
Yes.
rubber end cap, right? It's just a
Okay.
rubber end cap, and it goes right over the top of the microphone,
Okay.
and it holds it on there really good.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
No, great question, because these are all the things that I've been through trial and error with other gear, and that's why I'm such a big fan of this and recommend this one all the time. And for the
Yeah.
price point, it's awesome.
Then
And
what about the
Jennifer's
light?
about to like lose stuff over there between Gamma and Dead Cats. She's like losing it.
My cats are very well alive over here and meowing at me. They want dinner.
That's funny. Valerie, were you saying something?
No, I was saying
Vilma.
about the light. Do you use light? I do have a light and it's a pretty good one, but I was just wondering, what do you use, if any?
So the light that I use is, let me find it real quick.
And I'll show you mine, what I
Because
have.
what I'm giving you here in this list is like on the go filming, right? Because as agents, most of our videos are on the go. We're either in somebody else's house, or we're doing an open house, or we're outside, whatever. If I have a studio set up like I have here, and I want to like, you know, make videos in a stationary setup, then I'm going to use something like, let me find it.
Do you think agents are careful enough to follow privacy rules when they're doing all this filming here and there?
Well, tell me what you mean, because if you're in a public place, you have absolutely no right to privacy.
No, I'm talking about if you're going into somebody else's open house or
okay.
things of that nature. And even in a public place, don't you have to, this is how ignorant I am of the whole situation. Don't you have to get permission to set up a tripod and do that's walking into the restaurant like you're a star or something?
Should you, as a real estate agent, do that and ask for permission? Yes. I 100% agree that you should ask for permission, because you want to build great relationships with these restaurant owners, these store owners, these boutique owners, because you want to showcase them on your YouTube channel, and they should be open to it, because that's free money. That's free advertising. They don't
Free
have to spend money for
advertising.
it, right?
Yeah.
So yes, Patty, in that specific instance, yes, you can. However, it is not uncommon for my wife and I, if we want to film content for our family channel, to put this stand up in the corner or next to our table and film us while we're there being goofy or whatever we're doing. Like, that's where we are in society these days, right? People will just set up and start filming content. But I think from the real estate side of your life, you should maintain and uphold your professionalism, and you should build relationships with the people that own those businesses. So yes, I would ask for permission. Yeah.
Okay.
And that could even be better, because you could have them spotlight, you know, their signature dish, or 3 of the chef's favorite dishes, or what's, you know, the beer they're known for, the mixed drink they're known for, the mocktail they're known for, whatever the case may be. And then you can showcase that, which is even better for them and better for you. And you start to build that relationship, and they welcome you back, and you may get a free meal and tasty drink out of it. Right? I actually did that. I was filming for one of my friends that's an agent in Cape Coral, and we went to one of the local hotspots there, and we got a free meal and beverages from it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So to answer your question, Vilma, if I am filming like in my house, I'm using something like this right here. But see, we get pricier, and I don't want to do that right now. We're starting from mobile video. Okay. I could use something like an LED panel. Let me find it.
Can you show really quickly that other one that you're just showing?
This one?
Yeah.
So they're called cob lights, and I like to have the RGB plus white, because if I want to use it as a background light and splash color, I can do that. but I can also use it as a key light and have it shine on me. Now, that light by itself is not going to work. You need a modifier for it. So let me see if this comes with a modifier. I don't
The
think
reason
so.
I'm asking about it is, and I don't want to get into too much detail because of the time, but I noticed a lot of realtors would do their favorite restaurants. And I was just watching as a client would, and they all have dishes that look gray and doesn't look good because the light is so dim. Most of those restaurants they feature at night. And I mean, I looked at it and I was like, okay, if I'm going to invest the time, if I'm going to approach the owner, I don't want to do the end result video like this that, looks so pale and just didn't look tasty. So I don't know if I would bring that to the restaurant.
No, but that's not what we're talking about, though, right? I told you this would be a home stationary setup.
Okay.
If we're talking about what you're talking about, that same light that I showed you is fine. Believe it or not, as small as it is, this light right here.
Okay.
I don't have mine right here at the desk, but it gets super bright.
This one, I have it too. And that's something that can clip on your phone.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering if you use anything else because I never understood the colors on it. Is it just that goes like from warm to daylight to super warm? Or
yeah, this does all that. Plus, it has colors. For me, I like as much value as I can get in one device. So if I can get this one that has all of those options so that if I want to use them in the future, I can, I'm going to choose that over something that just does cool white and warm white. I think that's everything. Any questions? Just a few. Absorb it all. I will provide a follow-up and I'll put together that Google Drive for us and start putting this stuff in there. Let's see. There was something else that I wanted to go.
So is this Google Drive going to be something you share with us and then we can go on there at any time that we need to?
Absolutely. So the way that it's going to work is you're going to get a link in email from me. Okay. And that's going to say Brett has shared a Google Drive folder with you. When you click on that, it's automatically going to give it access to whichever Gmail account you are signed in with. So make sure you're signed in to the right email that you want that attached to that drive, if that makes sense. Because your Google Drive is always going to come up under whichever Gmail you're already signed into, right? Okay. All right.
So this is day one, correct? That's just the setup and the stuff that we need. And then the next week, it will be a follow-up, maybe getting into more of the editing and all of that.
I'll show you the schedule in just a second. So homework, and I'll provide this too, okay? Audit your Google account, really your YouTube, right? And so if you don't have a YouTube, and most of us talked about this, you don't have a YouTube channel. Rather than audit your YouTube channel, I want you to give a lot of thought, like Lori and I have been doing for a couple of weeks, right? Lori, have you gotten closer?
Well, I'll talk to you about that tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good.
But yeah, I think so. The more I talk with you, the more ambitious I get and more confident I get. But yeah, it's nerve-wracking. So
yeah,
so
it's more like a psychologist.
Go ahead, Fatty.
Are you talking about the naming of it?
Yeah. So and I want it to take time. Like, I don't want you to rush into this to have homework done. Okay. I want it to take time because your brand is very important. Actually, Chris and I were talking about this earlier today too. Your brand is everything. So take time to really think about what that brand is going to be. Lori, can I tell the story of what happened?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Because it's important for others to know because it's a learning lesson for sure.
So Lori had this amazing idea and I loved it. I thought it was great, especially for a YouTube channel, Living Local with Lori. And you guys can see from her screen how she spells her name. Okay. Well, we left all excited. She was gung-ho and excited, and she was smart and did research and Googled what she wanted it to be. I think even went to go get the domain and realized it was taken. Right? Something like that.
The domain was taken for how she spelled her
Right.
name because it
Right.
was different than how I spelled it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, she does a little bit of research for what she wants hers to be, and she discovers that there's already a YouTube channel called Living Local with Lori, Lori, and damned if that agent's not in the exact same town of Naperville.
Of course she is.
Of all the places, right?
Yeah.
So now we're in the process of, working together to try to rethink that. But you see how catchy that was, and for that not to work out for it. There's a reason, Lori.
Well,
there's
you know
something
what? It
better
could
on the other
be.
side.
It could be living local with the other Lori.
That's true. That's true. Well, so Lori brought up a really good point, and Chris actually brought this up when he and I were talking earlier today. She didn't want to invest all this time and money, right? Ultimately, because you're buying domains, you're spending time making the videos, all this stuff, just to have people trying to find her, but spelling it by the more common spelling of Lori, and she's feeding the other agent who's a competitor all of the people that should be coming to her. So these are all the things that we need to think about when we're talking about a brand and what we want this to look like. The other thing that I think is important to talk about right here is whatever your channel is going to be, because you can have an @ with your channel too. Let me bring up my channel and I'll show you. So I have Realty Tech Gurus, the name of my channel, right? That's just my brand. So that's what it was. If this was an agent, it's going to be, like, I think we were doing, Living Local with Lori, and then like Naperville, Illinois. Like, you're trying to put it all together, right? That's not important to me, because what this is has nothing to do with real estate in a particular community. Right? This is my teaching technology to agents. So it's kind of a different platform, different audience. But then my handle is @the Realty Tech Guru. I wanted it to be @Realty Tech Guru, but that guy is in another country and hasn't made a video in a gazillion years, but yet he has that handle. So then what I did was I went back to Instagram and Facebook and all the places that I had an account, and I changed it from @Realty Tech Guru to @the Realty Tech Guru, because it is a lot easier to just tell people, hey, I'm @the Realty Tech Guru on all socials, rather than I'm @the Realty Tech Guru on YouTube, and I'm Realty Tech Guru on Facebook, and I'm the Realty Tech Guru on Instagram. Like, having to remember all that stuff, it just doesn't work, right? It's annoying. So you want to try to develop your brand. We're going to start with YouTube, especially because it seems like most of you on this call aren't really heavily engaged in social media to begin with. You're kind of building it. It's new to you. So we're going to start with YouTube as our basis, and then the handle that we develop there is the handle that we're going to try to get. That's what that's called, a social handle. You're and then whatever it says. That's your social handle. We want to try to have all of them be the same across all platforms.
Question about the name is that I tend to overthink, and typically my work starts before I even start to work because of the name, color, brand, picture, stuff like that. It's been going on for 5 years now, so it's really ingrained, that habit. I do have my name, my last name, maybe like 300 followers, and not active, but at least there's something going on. And I have, I think, over 1 million views on my reviews on the same Google business. Kind of wanted to keep it. It's just my name.
You should be, but you already have a basis. Most of the other people on here, at least from when we talked, when we first got on the call, everything's new for them.
So for me, it would be okay to keep what I already have.
Yeah,
correct?
but you're going to try to line up YouTube with something similar, right?
Well, my YouTube is just Vilma Sakona Realtor. That's all.
Yeah, but that's the realtor. That's the key.
But you know what? I added it. I had it just as Vilma Sakona. And then I just added realtor. So maybe I will have you look into it.
Yeah. And then we're gonna talk. So we're gonna talk more about all of that. Because what we can't fit in the title, because we're limited on the title, right? We're going to add the SEO information into the description of the YouTube channel. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Here's the homework I do want you guys to do, though. You ready, Jennifer? Especially, you ready for this? I want you to record a 30-second intro. What is your YouTube channel about? I'm not gonna make everybody show it to us on this call, so don't worry about that. I want you to take the time to try to do it though, and start getting used to the camera. Okay. If you don't have anything to set your camera up on currently, you can put it on a counter. Like if you have a counter that's up against the wall, you can maybe put it on a couple of books or something like that and just try to prop it up. Figure out something that you can do. I'm going to have more like cool gear probably with each session, because there's another one that's really cool that's a magnetic clip. You can actually like magnetize it to your fridge and like hang it from things, and it's magnetic. So that thing's only like $20 and it's super useful to like just be able to put your camera up and film no matter where you're at. So I'll probably introduce you guys to that in case that helps for what you need to do. But yeah, I just want you guys to get used to filming the video. Okay. So you're going to film that 30-second intro, and I want you to think about what your channel is going to be about. We don't have to have all this stuff set in stone yet, but I want you to think about what your channel is going to be about, like what story you're going to tell. Okay. Like living local with Lori, it wasn't just, hey, this channel is about selling real estate in the Naperville and Chicago suburbs with Lori Knott. We got more deep into it. Like the things I've already mentioned, like things to do in my town and restaurants in my town. Like you're going to describe all that. And we're going to try to get it all into the constraints of the YouTube channel description. Your video is basically going to tell that story too, your intro video. All right.
What if you don't have that all figured out yet?
Then outline it. I want something completed that I can physically get eyes on. I'm not going to watch your video. Like I said, I'm not going to have you guys. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. The point is I want you guys to do stuff and come back every week. And if I know because I've done it plenty myself. If I say, all right, we're all going to watch each other's intro videos next week, ain't none of you going to show up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
To my loving mother in heaven, who gave me the most common name ever, you can tell I was born in the 70s. How important is it to use my name in like the title of my YouTube channel? Because if you Google how many realtors are named Jennifer Davis in Florida, let alone in Cape Coral and Fort Myers, there's a bunch of us. So like in Lori's situation, it doesn't matter if I use Jen with one N or two N's or Jennifer, there's multiple of us in that name. So I feel like using my own name is a disadvantage for me.
So I hear what you're saying, and I love that you asked that question, because not only is it a common first name, it's a common last name.
Yes.
So you're just like the queen of double whammies in this.
My mom had no creativity apparently. So
it's still a beautiful name, even though it's common. What I would do, yes, the short answer is yes, it's important to have your name in there because it's your brand. However, we can get creative with can't use this one either because there's too many agents using it I've seen, but like Jenny on the Block, right? Like
out of that too, right?
Yeah. And if there's nobody in Fort Myers with it, then maybe you want to use it. I have seen it from another agent, but I don't remember where it was. I think it's in Tampa. Okay, so think about something like that. Like it would be Jenny on the Block, and then we put a hyphen in there or the vertical bar, and it's Jennifer Davis or Jen Davis. What do you go by? What do you want to go by?
I go by Jen.
Okay.
But I see that there's Jens in there. So like back to the Lori scenario, if you spell it one, you're still feeding the other person with that name, whether you spell it differently. Mm-hmm. There's Jen, there's Jenny, there's Jennifer, there's multiple spellings of everything. I don't want to feed somebody else, So yeah, I just like, you want to be kind of like clever and in grabbing but when you have the most common name in the world, it's very difficult. Like I've been struggling.
J-A-N-D?
It's valid, Jen. It's valid. I hear what you're saying, but that's what
But you
we're going
do
to have
need
to.
to incorporate your name at some level.
You have to, because your name is the brand, right?
Okay.
But I think what we want to do is we want to come up with something really creative that's your tagline.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then we're going to have the tagline with Jen Davis.
Okay.
Okay. And we can lean on AI to help us with that. Okay. So what I would say, because Jen, you actually have access to me for one-on-ones through our Fort Myers office, schedule a one-on-one with me and let's lean on AI to come up with names for your channel. We're going to tell it. We're going to say, hey, Chad or Claude or whatever we decide to use. I have a really common first and last name, and I want to build a YouTube channel that I'm not feeding, you know, other agents with my branding and marketing. So, you know, I'm a real estate agent in Fort Myers. I need 20 creative names for my YouTube channel, and let's just see where we go from there.
Because it's like even an issue, even for my friends to find me, say on Facebook or Instagram, right?
They
you
have to
type
look
in,
for the picture, that tiny picture.
Yes. And you can scroll through pages of Jennifer Davis or Jen Davis on Facebook and still not find me. So yeah, I struggle with being that creative to figure that out. But
we'll get through it. That's one of the powerful things about AI is it can help with that for sure. All right. Well, that's everything that I had. You guys have any questions?
No? Thousands, but you don't have time for all that right now.
Well, I'll stay and answer some questions. I know some of you may have to go, and that's fine too.
You answered my personally most questions. So
okay.
What did you say, Brett? You know that some of us have what?
It's that some of you may have to leave, and that's okay. Yeah. So next week we're looking at the 3 big real estate videos, AI scripting in less than 10 minutes, and I think that's the majority of it. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what those big ideas are. And it's all around what we already talked about, answering questions that people have every day.